I know, boys. Yeah! Good on you, Thomas Burgess! Good on you, Tommy! South Sydney! Yes! Yes! Go! Yes! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! Go! Go! Yes! 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 Go! Yeah! Yeah! Good on you, guys! Let's go, boys! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! South Sydney! Go! Go! Yes! Yes! Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another NRL live stream, another NRL video, and another NRL tip video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel of Cody's Footy World. Hope you guys are enjoying a very lovely Tuesday afternoon where currently, if you just hear in the background, it's currently raining and thunder here in New South Wales at the moment. Not good signs. It's been raining on and off for the last few days quite heavily as well, but other than that, I have been very well, guys. I hope you guys are doing very well as well. And welcome back to another live stream. Now, originally, I wasn't planning to do a live stream for the tipping video, but given the circumstances I've got coming up for the next few days, I've decided to get do yet another live stream tipping video rather than my traditional recording that I normally do. But anyways, guys, I hope you will enjoy this live stream. And don't forget, guys, before we get into the tips as well, don't forget to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here, and don't forget to comment down below in the live stream, or if you're watching back this as a video, don't forget to comment down below what your tips are for round number 9 of the 2025 NRL season. And of course, it's that one time a year where 16 teams play at the one venue across multiple days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Of course, I'm talking about the one and only NRL Magic Ground. Been around since 2019. This will be the 6th incarnation of the Magic Ground concept. You know, the Super League had it first, and then the NRL had it. But it's great to have Magic Ground once again. And Magic Ground is arguably, other than the finals, the best time of the year to watch the footy. Go watch, support your favourite team up at Suncorp Stadium, where you live around Brisbane or in New South Wales or elsewhere in Australia. Always fun and recommended to go. But anyways, guys, with that out of the way, let's get into the round 9 tips of the 2025 season. But before we get into the tipping video as well, guys, I'm just going to reflect on last week with last week's results. Last week, I managed to get 3 out of 8 games correct. Did slightly better than the week before. 2 weeks ago, I got 2 out of 8 correct, which, I mean, it's not 1 out of 8, but gee whiz, that was a shocking round last weekend. Last week as well was very shocking as well. Few teams I didn't think would get the wins, but they did in the end. So we'll just we'll go over each game and let's see which ones I got correct. And if you guys want to comment down how many tips you got last week as well, feel free to put it in the live chat, or after watching the video, put it in the comment section as well. So the Thursday night game last week and was Anzac round as well. The Bulldogs finally getting their first loss of the season, going out 34-0 in the first half, and Broncos beating them 42-18. First game incorrect, and that means we know that Dogs, 1, they struggle against bigger teams and better teams, and 2, they hate Gerald Sutton as well. Now we move on to Anzac Day. We just wish there were 3 games on Anzac Day. First game, Roosters versus Dragons, 46-18 win for the Roosters. Got tipped the Dragons. I thought they would do better. Obviously, they've lost the last few Anzac Day clashes as well, so I didn't really think about that one. Got my first one correct with the Warriors beating the Knights, 26-12. Now, my boys last week against the Storm. Fortunately, we did come up short 24-16, but my goodness, such a great performance from the Rabbits. Way better than against the Bulldogs 2 weeks ago when we went down 32-0, but we almost got the job done. Unfortunately, just few errors really cost us in that game. But other than that, still had a fun time in Melbourne. If you guys have not as well seen my Melbourne trip vlog, make sure you guys go check it out once you're done watching the stream or watching it back as a video. Now we move on to our Saturday games. The Cowboys thrashing the Titans, coming back to win 50 points to 18. So that means Titans and Titans fans, you cannot win the comp this year now. So you've already conceded 50, you can't win the premiership. And our last Saturday game last week is Penrith losing to the losing to the Sea Eagles, merely winning 26-10. And I picked Penrith because they had a very thrashing win over the Roosters the week before, and obviously I didn't learn my lesson, so that's another game lost. Raiders versus Dolphins, such a cracking contest, but we'll get into their game shortly. Raiders coming back 30 unanswered points in the second half, winning 40-28. And then for the last game, Golden Point thriller, 20 points to 18 win for the Tigers over the Sharks. Fortunately, the Sharks cost themselves a penalty, which led to an Adam Dewey penalty goal, losing 20 points to 18. And last week, Parramatta had the bye. So 3 out of 8, not the bad, not the worst. At least definitely an improvement, but we definitely need to do a lot more better this week, especially that it's Magic Ground as well. But anyways, guys, let's go through each of the games, shall we? And our first game that kicks off on the Friday, 2 Friday games, 3 Saturday and 3 Sunday games. So our first game on the Friday kicking off at 6 p.m, we have the Sharks taking on the Eels. Now, last week, the Sharks coming off a 2-point loss to the Tigers in Golden Point with a penalty goal from Adam Dewey. Unfortunately, Thomas Hazelton went trying to steal the ball and cost themselves a penalty. So, unfortunately, the Sharks lost. And as for Para coming off a bye for the first time, and they're not in last for the first time this year as well, finally, which is fascinating. And gee whiz. And the Eels, week before, coming off a massive win over the West Tigers, winning 38-22, which, well, very cracking contest. And Mitchell Moses back in his first game, which is excellent to see. And hang on, just 1 second. So I'm just trying to get the teams list up here, just having some technical difficulties. So it'll be just 1 second. And as I load it up, we'll get into the team changes for both of the teams as well. But anyways, guys, don't forget to also like the stream as well if you haven't yet, and subscribe to the channel for you guys are new around here as well. All right, now we'll go through the team changes for both of them. Now for the Sharks, I know there'll be a few changes. Eels probably not so much, but let's go through the changes. So with the Sharks first, so Taylor Ero has been named to return from a hamstring injury, swapped with Morati Horati, who's injured his knee in last week's loss. Braden Helmueli is also stated for his first game since round 3 after making a return from New South Wales Cup last week. The forward has been named on the bench and the only change to the side. And as for the Eels, only 1 change has been made for the Eels. Carlton Malangi returns after being suspended, and Charlie Gourmet is in the reserves. Dylan Brown and Mitchell Moses will again combine the halves with Isaiah lining up at fullback. So for the first game of Magic Round, who do we see winning? I would love to see the Eels pick an upset for this one, but given the Sharks only just lost by a few points, I reckon the Sharks will get this job done. Sharks to win this one 1-12. For a scoreline, we'll go 26. Yeah, Sharks by 12. Yeah, 26-14 to open up Magic Round. First try scorer, let's go Kaylee Ero in his return game. And for anytime try scorers, we will go we'll go Britton Nakora. And for the Eels, we will go let's get Jermaine Hopgood for a try. Why not? And for Magic Round history as well for both teams, this will be the first time these two have played against each other in Magic Round. The Eels have won only 1 out of 5 Magic Round games, and the Sharks have won 2 out of the 5 games that they've played for Magic Round as well. So Sharks to win this one 1-12, and now we move into our second game of the Friday games and the main event. Not Manly versus Broncos, thankfully this time. Thank God that's done and dusted. Our last game on the Friday is between the Sydney Roosters and the Dolphins. Now, last week, the Roosters coming off a win in the Anzac Day clash against the Dragons winning 46-18. Very impressive stuff from the Roosters. And as for the Dolphins, well. Dolphins in Canberra for the first time. They go out 28-10 at halftime. And somehow, not the first time they've choked, but they choked, let the Raiders come back to score 30 unanswered points against them. My word, that was a great first half for the Dolphins, but one of the worst comebacks I've seen from a team that went out. And the comeback was 18 points, and they lose by 12 as well, which, it's not the first team to do, but, geez, not a good sign for the Dolphins, but they should hopefully bounce back from it. So let's go for the teamless football players. So Sanders Smith and Hugo Savala will line up in the halves after last week's win after the Dragons. Trent Robinson has also made no changes to his 17, with Dom Young still in the reserves for missing his second straight game, which is interesting to see. And as for the Dolphins, the return of Felice Kafusi offers the loss of Daniel Seifert to a shoulder injury, while Jeremy Marshall-King has been named to play his first game since suffering a leg gash in round 6 over Penrith. Ray Stone will shift back to the bench. Kurt Donahue is also back from an ankle injury and has set up the line in the interchange. The inconclusion of Sean O'Sullivan and Kenny Bromwich revert to the reserves. So quite a few changes there for the Dolphins. And that's my tip for this one. Even though despite they choked in last week's game against the Raiders, I reckon the Dolphins will win this one. I reckon the Dolphins to win by 8. Scoreline will go 28-20. First try scorer will come from the Roosters, I reckon. First try scorer will go Angus Crichton. Anytime try scorers will go Billy Smith, and for the Dolphins, we'll go Mark Nichols to score in this game as well. So Dolphins to win 1-12. And now we move into day 2 of the Magic Round concept for 2025. On the first game, kicking off at 3 p.m. on the Saturday, it is my boys, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, taking on the Newcastle Knights, kicking off at 3 p.m. And this game as well, guys, if you guys didn't notice, this game is also free to air, along with being on KO and Foxtel as well. So originally, 7:45 game was meant to be the free to air, but it's been switched to the 3 o'clock fixture because of the election that's actually happening this weekend as well. So Channel 9 will be broadcasting that crap afterwards, but I'm not here to talk about that. But hey, it's good news that we get a free to air game. I think this is the third consecutive year that we're playing a free to air game for the Rabbitohs, which is excellent. But anyways, let's go over last week's results for the Knights. 5 losses in a row now. Disappointing game last week against the Warriors over there in New Zealand, losing 26-12. As for my boys, fortunately, we came up short against the Storm, losing 24-16. But very, very great effort from the team. And funny enough as well, guys, I actually met the team at the airport and took photos with majority of the team as well. So, and that's also on my vlog as well. So if you guys haven't yet, you can go check it out whenever you want to. So it was a very special moment on the flight back to Sydney, meeting all the players and Wayne Bennett as well, which was very special. But anyways, let's go through the team list for both games. And the Rabbitohs, we've got a few changes here. So Jai Gray is back at fullback because Latrell Mitchell has been suspended for one game. Jack Whiten shifts into the 5'8" for the first time this year and will partner Jaden Sullivan in the halves. Ewan Aiken moves to the back row. Tallis Duncan is in the starting side in the back row, with Lachlan Hubner returning from concussion onto the interchange. Fletcher Myers and Liam LeBonga, the new faces on the bench, and Lewis Dodd drops back to the reserves. Now, I don't know why Sevilla have Billy's not on here. I'm guessing you might have picked up an injury or two, but there'll be some news about that coming out in the next few days. We'll see about that. And now let's go through the Knights team list. So Jacob Seifert and Adam Elliott have been named to return from their calf injuries. Seifert in the front row and Elliott on the bench. Tyson Russell returns to lock, with Matt Croker shifting to the bench and Tyrell Thompson and Thomas Camp dropping back to the reserves. Tyson Gales a chance this week to make his return from a broken nose and has been named in the extended squad. For this game, obviously I'm going to back my boys in this one. Rabbitohs to win by the 12. Won't be a good game, but I reckon we'll win this one by 10. Rabbitohs to win 24-14. First try scorer will go Jai Gray. Anytime try scorers, we will go Keon Colin, and for the Knights, we'll go Dylan Lucas to score this one. And also another thing as well, guys. Back in 2020, when the draw before the lockdowns happened and that, originally for Magic Round that year, we were going to play the Knights. So this would have been the second time we've played the Knights. So I've got the 2020 draw on here as well to show. About right here, you can see where I'm pointing the Knights logos there, and that's a bit hard to see. But Saturday, 3 o'clock, 2nd of May. We're playing on the Saturday, 3rd of May, so almost identical day and the same time as well, which is crazy. And almost the same rounds, just a round later. But yeah, so it's interesting that we're playing free air, but this should be an excellent game. And we've got Ashley Klein for the ref. Oh, no, we've got Liam Kennedy. My apologies. Kent Klein's in the bunker. And as well, Knights have also won 3 of the 4 games they played at Magic Round, and the Rabbitohs, we've won 4 out of 5. We lost our first one last year to the Cowboys, 28-22, and also for the Roosters Dolphins. Dolphins are undefeated, 2 out of 2, and the Roosters have won 3 of the 5 clashes. But Rabbitohs to win, 1-12, and of course, I will be there as well. Let's get the job done. And now we move into our second game on Super Saturday of Magic Round Day 2. We have the Warriors taking on the North Queensland Cowboys. Warriors putting on an impressive win against the Knights, winning 26-12 over their Apollo Project Stadium in Christchurch on Anzac Day, finally breaking, I think it was their 11-year losing streak on Anzac Day, which is nuts. And as for the Cowboys, coming back from 18-12 to beat the Titans, scoring 38 unanswered points, 50 points to 12, or 50 points to 18, my apologies. And setting the record that Titans can't win the comp now, which is, well, I mean, they weren't going to win the comp this year anyway, but good signs there from the Cowboys. Now we'll go through the team list for both teams. Now the Warriors have pretty much stick with the same same squad, it's just one change. Tadare Martin has come onto the bench with Jacob LeBon unavailable after he was placed under concussion protocols. For the Cowboys, no changes for the team, with Harrison Edwards to wear the number 15 up after he was a late promotion to the bench after the last weekend. Caden Lars has been named in the extended squad. He could make his NRL debut this weekend. Don't know who this is, but congratulations to Caden Lars. I think that's how he said his name. And for the tip for this one is a really tough one to pick, but for this game, I am going to go with the Cowboys to win this one. Cowboys to win by 4. I reckon it's going to be a close game. Cowboys to win 1-12. So first try score, we'll go 22-18 scoreline. First try scorer, go Robert Derby. Anytime try scorers, we will go Scott Drinkwater, and for the Warriors, we'll go Mitchell Barnett in the forward pack to score. So Cowboys to win 1-12, and also Warriors have won 2 of the 5 games played at Magic Round, and the Cowboys have won 3 of the 5 games as well. So breaking on for the second game, and then for the final game, the main event, which was meant to be the free-to-air game, but it's not anymore. We have the West Tigers taking on the Dragons, kicking off at 7:45 p.m. Now, last week the Dragons, what the F moments, I guess, choked. They did not play well on that one, losing 46-18 to the Roosters, and as for the Tigers, putting on a great game for their first game at Leichhardt Oval. Golden Point, they don't have a good history in Golden Point, but they really changed it around. Tigers winning 20 points to 18 after they got a penalty. They scored. They kicked the field goal with Adam Dewey from 30 metres out, roughly, winning 20 points to 18 and getting their first win at Leichhardt Oval for the year as well, which is great to see. And Tigers are doing very well this year, no doubt. And now let's go for the team list for both changes. So Tigers have sticked with the same team list. Tony Solkar has been named 18th man. Shane Flanagan has turned to a young gun Lycan King Tugia to wear the number 7. With Lachlan Ilias dropping to reserves. Wowee. No surprise there, honestly. Sony Fanau also dropped out of the squad and will be replaced by Corey Allen, who makes a Olympic comeback from an ACL injury. I completely forgot that Corey Allen is at the Dragons. But good to see him again. Amos Stewart returns from the concussion protocols at luck, with Jack DeBellin shifting to the bench and Blake Laurie drops to the reserves. For this one, I reckon this is going to be another 50-50 call. But for this game, we're going to back the Tigers for this one. I reckon from what they did against the Sharks back on Sunday, I'm going to go out with the Tigers, no doubt. So for we'll go Tigers to win by 6. We'll go 24-18 scoreline. First try scorer will go Jermaine Buller. Anytime try scorers, we will go Valentine Holmes, and we'll also go Alex Safer to score for the Tigers. So Tigers to win in this one, 1-12, and that wraps up the Saturday fixtures. Now we move into our final day of Magic Round, Day 3 Sunday, kicking off at 1:50 p.m. We have the Gold Coast Titans taking on the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Now the Titans coming off a loss against the Cowboys, extending their losing streak in Townsville 1-5 now. And they were beating the Cowboys. They went out 18-6, and before halftime, Cowboys scored another try. And then for some reason, they didn't score a single point in the second half, conceding 50 points for the first time this year, meaning they cannot win the premiership this year. They can still make the finals, but they can't win the premiership. And as we all know, if you concede 50, you don't win the premiership. That stat has not been broken yet. And that's for the Bulldogs. Wow, you played good for the first 5 games, and you choked to the Brisbane greedy bastards out of the Brisbane Broncos. They go out 34-0 at half time, and Dogs made them come back at least, but it's too little too late. Dogs suffering their first loss of the year to the Broncos last week at Suncorp. Leads that they're still in first, but depending on how they go against this week as well, but we'll see how they go. And now let's go through the team list for both of the teams. So David Fafita drops to the reserves. German Jolliffe has been replaced by Isaac Fossomalawi as German Jolliffe has been suspended. Khalees Haas and Josiah Polu is also on the bench. Brock Gray's season is over after tearing his ACL this weekend. Oh my goodness! All the best to Brock Gray. He actually used to be at the Rabbitohs as well. Funny enough, all the best to him. For this game, and as for the Dogs as well, there's been quite a few changes there, with Matt Burton, Josh Curran, and Stewie Tupanua suspended. Matt Burton's been suspended for 1 game. Josh Curran's 3 games, and Stewie Tupanua 5 games suspension. Wowee. So we have Bailey Haywood comes at 5'8", Daniel Taluka Fafita taking Curran's place at front row. And for the other one, we have Kuros Moore and Blake Taff are the new faces on the bench. For this game, despite losing 3 of their big players, I reckon the Bulldogs will bounce back after a humiliating loss last week and get the job done. Bulldogs to win 13+. So this is the first game I've said 13+ for the whole weekend. Bulldogs win by 16, 32-16 scoreline. First try scorer. We will go Stephen Crichton to score first. Anytime try scorers for the Titans, go AJ Brimson, and for the Dogs, we will go Jacob Preston to score. So Bulldogs to win this one, 13+. Now we move on to our 4 o'clock game. We have the Penrith Panthers, the 4-peat premiers, going against the Brisbane Broncos. The Broncos should have been a home team, honestly, and same for the Dolphins, but they get an extra away game as part of Magic Round, which is, I think, kind of stupid. But that's not up to me to decide. Now, Brisbane beating the Bulldogs last week, going out 34-0 at halftime, winning 42-18 overall to finish off. A very great performance for them. And as for the Panthers, well, they lost immediately a comeback. They can't seem to win a comeback for some reason. Losing 26-10. Lots of brief comeback there in the second half, but it's too little too late, and Manly was just too good. Penrith have lost all their home games except for one up back from Vegas, but technically it's a neutral game, but same as this one, but blah, blah, blah. And Panthers are in last. Panthers are in 17th. This is the worst I've seen Panthers, at least since 2019. I think they were in last in that at some point that year, or even 2015, one of them 2 years. But anyways, let's go through the team list for both teams. Luke Garner returns from a concussion and will be back in the centres. Brian Toto is at least another week away from a hamstring injury. Luke Summerton starts at hooker, while Brad Snyder has been ruled out with an eye injury. And as for the Broncos, Jordan Riki returns from infection. It's the only change that beat the Bulldogs last week. Brendan Piacora shifts back to the bench, and Tyson Smithy is 18th man. Trent Tillo is set for his second NRL game of the season and has been named on the bench as well. For this game, easy tip. Broncos 13 plus. Broncos, I know they don't have a good record against the Panthers, but I think the Broncos will get the job done. Broncos to win 13 plus by 16. Scoreline will go 26-10. So same as last week for the Panthers. First try scorer. We'll go Jesse Arthur to score first. Anytime try scorers will go Luke Garner, and we'll also go Jordan Riki. So Broncos to win 13 plus. And for the final game to wrap up day 3 and to wrap up Magic Round 2025, we have the Melbourne Storm and the Canberra Rays in a top 4 blockbuster battle to finish off Magic Round. At least this year they're going with an excellent game rather than a boring game last year, because last year's game wasn't really the best, but this is shaping up to be a really good game between each other. Now for the Raiders, coming back, they were down 28-10 at halftime at home, scoring 30 unanswered points to beat the Dolphins 40-28, one of the biggest comebacks we have seen this year. But wowee, the Dolphins were ordinary in that second half. And as for Melbourne, unfortunately, they beat my boys 24-16. They are now 20-0, beating the Rabbitohs in Melbourne, in which they live another day to tell a tale that the Rabbitohs have yet to win in Melbourne. But, oh well, still a good game, but Melbourne did struggle in that one as well. But let's go through the team list for both players. So for the Storm, Folongo has been named on the wing after being cleared from a concussion following last week's loss. So he went off with a HIA, though. I don't know if it was Category 1 or 2, but anyway, Kevin Kamifa is also on track to return from an ankle injury after being selected on the bench. Is the only change. Lazarus Falape reverts to the reserves as a result. Nelson Salamona is in the extended squad and has a chance to make the 17 this week. As for the Raiders, no changes for the Raiders. Ethan Strange and Jamal Fogarty will combine the halves against, with Josh Papali'i set to make an impact off that. Simi Sasagani is the 18th man for the second straight week. For this game is going to be a cracking contest between each other. But for this one, despite Melbourne been struggling for the last few games or so, I think Storm will go out and win this one. Storm to win in a close game by 4. Scoreline will go 32-28. So I reckon a high-scoring game. That's really bold, but I reckon they can get the job done. First try scorer will go Ryan Paffenhauser. He scored the first try last week against us. Anytime try scorers will go Ali Katoa, and we'll go Matty Nicholson to score for the Raiders. So Storm to win that one, 1-12 as well. And just a few things to wrap it up before I wrap up the stream, you guys. So going back on the winning records for all teams minus Manly for the Magic Round, Tigers have won 3 out of 5 games. Dragons have not won a single game at Magic Round yet. I think that's why they got the bye last year. And also, Tigers versus Dragons, this will be the second time these two. This will be the third time these two will have. Second time these two will have clash between each other, and Tigers have won both occasions as well. So Tigers can make it 3-0 against the Dragons up at Thumbcourt. But other than that, every other fixture that's been named for round 9. Round 9. These will be the first time all these teams will be playing against each other for Magic Round as well. But just before we wrap it up here, we'll just go through each of the tips again. So if you guys have just joined the stream, we'll just go over each tip, which one I selected. So first game, we've gone to Sharks over Eels, Dolphins over the Roosters. On the Saturdays, we've got Rabbitohs over the Knights, Cowboys over the Warriors, and Tigers over the Dragons. Now for the Sunday games, Bulldogs over the Titans, Broncos over Panthers, and wrap it up. Storm beating the Raiders in a close contest. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up the stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. Don't forget to like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here, and don't forget to comment down below of what your tips are. And if you're watching this back as a video, don't forget to comment down below of what your tips are. And good luck to everyone that's heading up to Magic Round as well. Of course, we'll be heading up to Magic Round within the next 48 to 72 hours after this stream ends, which it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be attending all 3 days, 3 separate vlogs. Going to be a lot of fun. There is expected to be a bit of rain up there, I believe, so we'll be prepared in case if I do get soaked. But anyway, I'm there to enjoy the footy and enjoy each moment. Very magical. Hopefully this year might top last year, but we will wait and see. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. See you if you're at Magic Round. I'll see if you are there, I might see you there. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.